I see like doubled up if you're
Yeah.
living with another family.
Rockcastle County Board of Education. This is a regular board meeting for the month of August. It's always good to see all your faces here today. The first thing I would like to do is call this meeting to order, and we will have a moment of silent prayer. Item 1B, let the roll call be noted that Miss Lisa and Matt are not here tonight. We miss them, so let that be said. Item 1C is reading the board team commitments. I've not read these for a while, so I'll do that tonight. Board team commitments for Rockcastle County School. To improve our effectiveness, the board team for Rockcastle County Schools commits to review processes and experiences to identify and direct improvements, continuously define and work toward long-term goals which serve all students of the district, make each decision based on facts and the best for all students, listen to each other and speak freely, work together, support each other, and not surprise one another, discuss board deliberations to point of mutually agreeable resolution based on factual information, support the majority's decision, projecting board unity toward shared goals for continuously improving district-wide student learning. Operate without personal or political agendas. Respect one another. Agree to disagree respectfully. Delegate implementation to superintendent and education team, and to respectfully remind each other of these commitments. Item 2 is adopt the agenda. We need to make an amendment to that. It has been brought to my attention that we are just going to remove 4M under operations and actions. So when we vote, that will no longer be one of the things we will be voting for. We're just going to delete it off of there. With that being said, need a motion to adopt the agenda with that amendment.
I'll make the motion.
I second.
Okay. All in favor?
Yep.
Item 3 is our school and community showcase. And IA tonight, we have our food service department recognition.
So, as you all know, as we were voting several months ago for our amended school calendar and for us to do the variable calendar, one of the concerns that was brought to our attention was kids being fed over the summer. And I think, Angie, that was one of your primary concerns. So we took that into consideration, and Chris and Tabitha, who is here with us tonight, Chris and Tabitha started planning a summer feeding program. And to say that it was an overwhelming success is an absolute understatement. And those of you in the room that had the opportunity to go this summer and to see the work that Chris and Tabitha orchestrated for our kids, it was truly phenomenal. I know Casey and Jesse went just last week, and everybody that goes comes back absolutely blown away at the work that they've done. So, Brendan, you care to pull up that image for us? I think you all know, and if you look behind us, you know what Rep Arena looks like. And as I was thinking through how to present this, I just kept thinking about how many people does Rep Arena seat? So it's 20,000. So there's 20,000 seats there. If you envision Chris, Tabitha, and the food service team walking through Rep Arena almost 3 times and placing 3 bags of food in each one of those seats, that's how many meals we've served this summer.
Wow.
So, numbers for June and July, 55,691 meals served.
That's awesome.
And that's really remarkable, and I just, hats off to both of you all. You all have worked yourself to death. I know Chris has come in several days after it's been a feeding day, and he's been sore from head to toe, and they have worked, and Tabitha's been right there beside of him doing it, leading all the way, and I just appreciate both of you all so much, and I know how much our families appreciate it. And you know, we all go to the grocery store, we all see rising costs on our grocery bills, and you think about the impact that that's had on our community this summer, and we just really appreciate you. Over almost 56,000 meals. It's just, that is a number that I just have a hard time wrapping my head around. So I just want to say thank you to both of you and appreciate the work that you've done this summer to take care of our kids. And I hate to say it, but I think you started a tradition. So I think overwhelmingly our families have really appreciated that, and the load that it's taken off of them this summer has been remarkable.
Lots of volunteer work, lots and lots of volunteer, lots of staffing. I mean, they were there and helped, but lots of outside groups, volunteered.
Yes.
And I wish I had thought about putting the number of work hours and volunteer hours, and I don't know, it would be a lot. I need to put that together and see what that comes out to be.
Yes, we've had everything from kids at church camp to basketball teams to football teams to Citizens Bank to, I know I'm leaving somebody out, I don't want to do that, but we've had tons and tons of volunteers. And just our school family has volunteered so much to come up and help do that. So thank you both. And Tabitha and Chris, we have just a little something for you if you all want to come up.
It's not UK tickets, I promise.
Probably
not
it
UK
was, and
tickets.
This just meant so anything, but maybe it's something you can put on your desk just to know that we appreciate you and thank you for all your work. Chris, we appreciate you. Thank you.
I wanted to add, whenever we started talking about that Maryville calendar, over the years of me serving on the board, I think I've voted against the majority maybe 5 times. And I've done this for 21 years. And that was one of the things that I voted against. And the reason I voted against it was for that very purpose, is because I work with a very vulnerable population in our community, and I see a lot of children and a lot of families that they can't buy groceries. Some of them choose not to, but not all of them. And I don't. When you're busy doing something, when you're busy putting all them bags together and stuff like that, it's work. Let's just be real. But I hope you realize the difference that you made in a lot of people's lives, because it may have been a deciding factor whether somebody got to buy medicine that week. And I know that sounds kind of petty, but that's real.
It's real.
And I've had so many people come up and say, thank you. And I'm like, oh, you're welcome. I've worked so hard at, no, I didn't say that, but I just, both of you and everyone that was out there working, I mean, that's a lot of love. That's 55,000 ways to say you love somebody. And so thank you very much. And next year we're going to do it again, right?
Right.
No, thank you all, though. Thank you so much. Item 3B is the RCMS construction update.
Good evening. How are you? We should have some pictures.
It's green.
Just a quick run through this. Obviously, there's more done. With that, these were taken last night. So you have both end zones done now and probably about 40 more yards done with the thing. The track will be paved on Thursday for that. So we can just kind of cruise through the pictures. Just different one that's just the scoreboard and your pole vault and your long jump and triple jumps. I'm just kind of going through there. That big concrete pad is for your high jump. Just another picture. Go ahead. This one shows kind of a good bit of your seating is in already for your bleachers. So all your aluminum seats are in and ready to go. That's another picture of that. We've got a couple more yet. So that all area is done. This is the main part of the school. It's hard to see that kind of when you're kind of looking at the school from where you are over on the right-hand side. That's kind of your first set of, I think that's 6th grade wing coming out that way. So you got about 3 rooms done. That all scaffolding in the corner is your kitchen. The open space is the cafeteria, and then the library is kind of that building in the back. And then over on this side is your 7th grade wing, just starting to be done. That should, by next month, you should see a floor on that and things like that. They're working in the courtyard right now, which is right behind the wall in the middle, getting the planters in and just kind of they're working their way out. So that's kind of that part of just a little closer look of it. So you see we kind of put the leadership team walk through there the other day and realized that the classrooms are pretty decent size because we actually have one classroom that kind of done. So they kind of looked at that. You can go, yeah. There's a lot of stuff you don't see going on in the back. Your water vault and all this crazy stuff in the back is going in, and you know, there right now is a huge pit where they're putting in for your cooling tower. The amount of work that goes into that with this rock is unbelievable. My guys, even today, like one of them was on their scene, he goes, I have been about to give up on this, but it's just a lot, and that's just what's killing them. So, but it's going. This is the inside of the concession. Just a quick little look that it's getting about ready. It's got the lights in it now and things like that. We'll have temporary power hooked up at the beginning of the month of September for us to get all tested and get done with that. So windows should be in. Everything's virtually in that building now. So in the gym, we've painted that big ugly wall that was all block last year. Get one more picture in here. So you do have your new bleachers in. And of course, all this was we kind of threw it in. I kind of threw it in to get it done early, and of course, it's going to now create some problems for us, like because the railings, we'll have to probably have some temporary railings for a little bit, just because we threw it on, you know, to get it done this summer. But that'll make it go quicker later on. Is that the last one? Yeah. Over on the right-hand side, we have a mechanical room that we built up on that mezzanine above there. Found out that the art teacher was going to use that open space, but we're going to go ahead and make that mechanical room a space for her for this year. So she'll have me to help getting all her stuff moved in late because we're trying to get it painted and everything to try to get it done. But I think she'll enjoy that rather than sitting out in the gym. So everything's going on schedule. No problem for us being ready for the first football game. Most all of your sidewalks are in, and I'm surprised I haven't seen a lot of you, but about half the town has been down there looking at it. Gotta figure out. Once we get ready for school, we'll get the fences up better and then make a little more of, don't walk down here. You know, because they're just walking right straight through construction.
I noticed today when I came over, there was people walking up with some little small children. I thought maybe it was like somebody that worked at the middle school and they just took.
Oh, maybe. I don't go grab all of them, you know, I get a lot of them. Otherwise, I think it's going great. I think we're ahead of schedule on the actual building itself. I know we're just kind of focusing on the field, but I think the building itself is really cruising along. We haven't had any snafus, and I think it's going to be. Again, they're just getting water lines and stuff. That's our big issue. Just anything to do with the rock.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I love it. We had great weather for it.
Yes. There was a lot done today. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Item 4 is operations and actions. We removed item M from that. Are there any questions for Dr. Ballinger on anything else?
Now I'll make the motion.
Okay.
Approve. Operations and actions without M.
I actually did have a question. The Fifth Third Bank, the commercial rebate thing that is on the county's credit card for the school.
It is the school district's credit card, and Fifth Third offers a rebate program for school districts. And if we reach a certain limit, they would provide a refund check. We have not reached that limit.
Yeah. Looking at the numbers.
They raised it a few years ago, but we do approve the agreement should we ever have the opportunity to receive a rebate. That would be part of, just go back into general fund.
Is there a reason why we have that card through Fifth Third Bank and not the bank that we bank with?
Fifth Third provides a kind of a platform for schools, and that has worked really well for us. We can certainly explore opportunities to use credit cards through our local bank. That's a conversation we can have, but they provide a platform and some additional support to school districts.
I was just curious.
Mm-hmm. It's the one we have historically had in the district.
Thank you, Ms. Jean. We had a motion on the floor and a second. All in favor?
Yes.
Item 5A, review and approve the monthly financial reports.
Okay. We've kicked off the school year for 2026 and off to a great start. Not July is typically a month there's not a great deal of activity, but you'll notice on our balance sheet that we have brought in our funds from the prior year to our beginning balance. Also, we have made bond payments this year. You saw those in July for our bills for payment. So we're off to a great start for the year. I've also provided some additional notes about beginning balance for the year in my board report.
Thank you, Ms. Jen. Any questions? Need a motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor? Item 5B, review and approve the $3 million CD renewal 12 months of Citizens Bank.
Our CD was up for its normal renewal. The bank has provided a percentage for us. It is 0.5% less than the prior year, but still above the Fed rate. So they are still being a great partner with Rockcastle County Schools and supporting us, with a significant interest rate for our CDs. Those are on a 12-month renewal, and we will review that CD again at this time next year.
Is there a reason why it's less?
The rates have dropped. Just across the board, rates have dropped, but they've still honored, we only went down 0.5%, and we're very thankful for our partnership with them.
Any questions?
Motion to approve. I'll second.
All in favor? Item 5C, review and approve the tax rate for the 25-26 school year.
Yes, we have received our tax rates. We always know school is getting ready to start when the tax rates come in the mail. But for the last 3 years, 24, 25, and upcoming 26, our rate has been 43.8. Our property assessments in the county did go up, allowing us to vote to keep the same rate at 43.8, and we will generate, if we do that, we will generate an additional $219,000 in revenue. So my recommendation is we keep the rate at 43.8.
Any questions?
Move to approve. Yep, second.
All in favor?
Yep.
Item 5D, review and approve the strategic plan for Rockcastle County Schools.
Yes, if you'll remember, in 2021, we initially adopted this strategic plan, and several days ago, I guess that last week, our leadership team went to Shakertown for a leadership retreat and spent the day. It was really a fabulous day, and we worked and did lots of learning activities. But one of the things we worked on was revising the strategic plan with our team, with our principals, as well as this team, to see if there were any modifications that we felt like that we needed to make. 2021 till upcoming 2025, so that's several years. Is this still meaningful to us? So we have made a few very minor tweaks. We went back and changed a few words here and there that we felt like made this stronger. And for an example, in our mission, we said that we wanted our students to be leaders in a competitive world instead of a global world, because we want them to be competitive right here at home, wherever they want to go in the United States, as well as global. So we felt like saying the competitive world was more pertinent to what we are focusing on right now. So we're just asking you all to reapprove this as our team has worked on it.
Any questions?
Oh, I'll make the motion. I'm second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Item 5E, review and approve the data security breach notification best practice guide.
So every year we're required in August to talk to you about data security. I posted on the agenda the state's best practice guide in case we have a data breach, just so you know that we're familiar with that. So that just serves as that. In my department report spot, I just listed, instead of a traditional department report, I listed just some things that we do for security, so you can look through those things. A couple of them, I'll mention a couple of them, but you know that we have a $2 million cyber insurance policy, so that's a big thing. Everybody has two-factor authentication on Microsoft and Google, both accounts, depending on which their passwords would be the same, but the two-factor is different depending on the platform. When an employee leaves, Miss Courtney with student services for Marcus removes her Infinite Campus account, so they don't have student access to see student data anymore. Right? So all those things, lots of things go together to make us more secure. Staff do yearly confidentiality training about data. Our network is scanned weekly by CISA, which is a cybersecurity infrastructure agency. It's like the FBI, but it's the cyber world. So they scan our whole network and look for vulnerabilities. We started that last year. Um, did I say we have 15? So we have a 15 character password policy. So everybody's password has to be 15 characters. The reason we have that is because it's supposed to take like 200 years to brute force break a password of that size, right? Because it could be, so they can still steal your password, right? Some other things we're going to do. One thing that we're going to do soon is there's a Q's project. It's a connected user experience. It's a new username management thing that's coming from the state. It's going to connect to Munis. It's going to connect to Infinite Campus. It's going to be a big project. When we get that, one thing that I'm excited about is it will actually scan the hashes for passwords. So they don't know the passwords, but they know the encrypted passwords that are very long hash passwords, and it'll scan the dark web for those passwords. It'll be able to tell us if those passwords pop up on the dark web and if they're compromised. So that'll be a huge thing for us to know. Then I can proactively say, hey, go change your password. It's compromised. Last year we changed to high school students to manage their own passwords. That was a big change, a huge change, because teachers could always just look in IC and see the student's password and give it to them or help them or log in for them. We still do that with the little kids, but because we have to, they can't remember their password. When we switch to Q's, Q's will allow us to use two-factor authentication with even a kindergartner. So it makes even their data more safe, their data more protected. Two-factor like that wouldn't be a text message or an app. It would be a pictograph where they connect three dots or draw a picture, draw the line. But it's still considered two-factor because it requires the password and then any other factor, right? So the other factor would be drawing that line. So they know you're real, you're not a computer. Those CAPTCHA screens that you see all the time that you have to click was an example of that. Anyway, we're also going to do a network project upgrade very soon. That is scheduled for September the 8th. That's going to increase. We'll have Wi-Fi 6. We'll have faster pipelines. We'll go from 10 gig to 25 gig between the schools. That'll be better. The network, the company we chose that won our bid is Juniper. The one thing I'm excited about is AI with them, because they can scan our network using AI and they can tell us about problems before they exist, but they can also spot like a crypto locker or some kind of malware that comes through too. So another thing I'll mention is that everybody uses Gmail. People don't think about it, but if Chris sends a social security number to Tabitha an email, it won't go through. It will stop it. It will block it. It will send me an email and say, hey, Chris tried to send that. It'll recognize that format. So we do that too. Lots of times people don't think about. I also talk with staff every year during my tech talks. I'm getting ready to start those, so I'll start those. I started those today with the vocational school. I'll do some more next week. I also met with Marquita's group today. She had a group with lots of new teachers, and these were all new teachers, so they didn't, I talked to them about security as well. I always talk about security. I can go in and delete emails if we know they're phishing. So if it goes to mass people, I can go in and delete those emails. So we do that when we know that happens. We did have our first real security. I'm gonna say real. We've had lots of potential problems. A few weeks ago, we had somebody from far away fill out our payroll form or document that has and they put an account number and a routing number that wasn't real. They put an employee's name and they emailed that to a payroll person. So that payroll person realized that wasn't real, and they stopped that. They did not process that. But that's not just, we think about that. We think about like an email we get, we click it and they get our password and maybe they can get our credit card. But in this case, this person was real. It was a person, not a computer, right? It was a real person, and they were trying to hijack our system to get an employee's paycheck. So that's the first. It's real, right? It's real. We know it's real. It's happening in other districts. Luckily, we caught it. We were good enough to catch it, so that's important. But it's, I guess we have to remember that it's real, that those threats are always out there. So we're doing lots of things. It doesn't mean we're always protected, just so you know, if something happens tomorrow, we're doing lots of things, right? We hope nothing happens tomorrow, but we are doing lots of things. I did put on my thing that the biggest threat is our users. That's what I have to say, because phishing emails go to everybody, right? They can just go to everybody. It can look real. It can say it's from Jenny Sweet. If I get an email from Jenny Sweet, I'm going to click on it, but it might not be really her, you know. And that's a problem. That's just a problem. So, but we talk to staff often, and
Brandon,
we
can
do
I bring
lots
up
of things.
something that's happened throughout the hospital? Texts as well. I don't know if you all got the phishing text, but it comes from your leader typically, and it'll say, "Hey, this is
Because it's SMS.
Dr. Carrie Ballinger. I need you to call me." Yeah, that's happened to us. So I just wanted to, I don't know if that's happened here yet, but it's strange
Yeah, it's
because you think you should call back your superior, you know, it makes you nervous.
right. The gift card. There's a classic one with gift
Y'all
cards.
break
The
to tell my
superintendent,
text. I don't-
the superintendent, you know, the principal one time asked him to go and buy some gift cards,
Yes.
and he actually did it. And
Yes.
that was not here.
So just another scary thing.
It's lots of scary things. So but this list, if you read my list, it has lots of things that we do. We're doing lots of things. Doesn't mean we're 100% protected, but we're prepared. Prepared as I think people.
What are the limitations for children with their Chromebooks as far as what games and stuff that they can play?
So games are blocked by category. So generally they can play some games. Generally not something with a gun. It just depends. The internet is a big place, right? I block sites by categories, not by sites, because to block a site, I can block one site, but it's based on categories. Generally, educational games are open. Cool math games are open. It's not really math games, but cool math games are open for kids to play. As far as web games, Minecraft is available for students to play. Of course, you have a sword and you kill pigs, but you can fight each other. I mean, you know, is that what you're asking about?
Yes.
Violence.
Yeah.
We limit that as much as we can, but the internet's a big place.
I was thinking along the lines of Roblox.
Okay.
I mean, is that something that children can play?
Not on the Chrome.
Not on the Chromebook, okay. I had a parent ask me that.
Yeah.
Several
Everybody loves
weeks ago.
Roblox, but it's not I wouldn't be concerned about the violence portion of that game because it's cartoonish, and that's me personally. But I would be concerned about the communication piece.
Yeah.
That's why we
Yes.
would block that, is they can talk to anybody and they're not real kids. Everybody's not real kids.
Right.
So that communication is blocked because we have to block communication. We block lots of sites. Pandora has been blocked in the past, and not because of the music, right? Because there's a communication piece. So every site wants to have that communication piece.
Yeah.
So that's
So that's automatically blocked on all of these sites for children.
Roblox will be blocked. Now there's copycats for Roblox that they might be able to get through just because I can make a copycat for Roblox in an hour and put it on the website, and it'll jump onto the website, and it'll jump on the website. You know, nothing's ever completely safe, but we block categories, and we have a filter. The state has a filter. It's called Go Guardian. The whole state has that contract. Lots of other places have that contract, but they decide what category a website belongs in, and I've chosen to block that category. So every day they'll block thousands and thousands of websites for us. I can always block a website if I find one, and I can tell them, hey, you should block that website, and other people do too. But I can't say we're 100% safe, but
Yeah.
we block the categories that I think you generally need to be blocked.
The 15 character login, is that for students also?
No,
Just
it's for
staff? Okay, I was gonna say,
Student
I can't imagine
data.
a first grader coming up with, and being able to figure it out.
We assign the student a password when they're enrolled, and then it's a number. It's something that they can learn. Little kids have QR codes, so they'll have a badge like this,
Yeah, I
and
remember
they can
that.
hold it up to the camera. Once they get in third grade, that's when we expect them to learn their password. So they can use this until third grade. And then in third grade at Christmas, that's what we tell teachers. Third grade at Christmas, they have to know their password. So we switch to their password. And then now, for the first time in high school, we've let them manage their own passwords. So during open house, I know we'll have a line for the kids who've forgotten their passwords. You know, that we know that's created that. We knew it would, but it does help their data be safer. It connects not just to their Chromebook account, but it's their Chromebook account, it's their Google account, it's their Infinite Campus account. So all that's linked together. So we have to allow them to protect their Infinite Campus account.
Thank you, Frank.
So thank you.
I'm so glad you do that job. Makes me feel better.
Too sometimes.
Need a motion to approve the data security breach notification best practice guide.
Yep, second.
All in favor?
Yep.
Item 6A is review the superintendent's personnel action report.
It's really full this month, as always. This is always our biggest personnel action report of the school year. Give you all just a moment to look at it and see if you have any questions. As of right now, we potentially may have another special education opening, potentially, but as of right now, we just finished, we had 2 language arts middle school jobs that we have, filled recently, so we are fully staffed at this point. Short instructional assistants, got a few more of those to fill, but certified teaching positions were full.
Where would that special ed, would it be at the middle school or high school?
We don't know yet. We're looking, just analyzing numbers to see.
Okay.
Item 7, department reports. Anyone have anything they want to share?
I want to share some of the information in my report with you. The unaudited annual financial report was submitted for the district on July 25th. Again, we know numbers could shift ever so slightly if we're required to do a journal here and there, but just wanted to share good news. Our general fund balance, $6.3 million. Our beginning balance for the fiscal year, we started 2025 with $5.4 million. So that's a difference of $989,097.57. That significant difference is funds that are set aside for the insurance claim we had at the Rockcastle Academy for Academic Achievement. So our Trent has been working with that team and just finished the installation of a new roof. So we'll see that budgeted in our fiscal year 26 budget, but we'll be paying those dollars out very soon. So all that to say is that we can feel really good about the financial position of our district. Our budget was on target. We were within $2,500 of where we wanted to be at this point.
I don't even know if that's possible.
That's great.
But
I need to give you my checkbook.
So we do see, concerning news reports, and just want to report to you that we are being very diligent, not only in finance, but in every department, every school, to monitor our budgets closely. We have discussions, we plan, we prepare, but we are in a position that we can meet payroll, we can fund our instructional programs, we can plan for emergencies. And while that number could change ever so slightly based on journal entries that would be required by our auditors, we can feel good about the work that we've accomplished this past year and the work that is yet to be put forth in the upcoming school year. So I just wanted to share that with you so you would have an idea of where we're going. We would anticipate a strong audit report again this year, and we're prepared to develop a strong working budget for this fiscal year, and we'll present that to you next month.
Well, I want to just take a moment just to thank Miss Jenny for her hard work, because that all of that, keeping that in budget within that close number, that does not happen regularly, routinely, and that is all just a credit to Miss Jenny and her entire staff. And she works very, very hard, and they all work very, very hard to make sure that we're able to provide programming and the teaching staff that we need at our schools to make sure that our students have everything they need. And every conversation is always back to, okay, how's this going to impact our schools? So I really, really appreciate Miss Jenny for keeping us all on track and
you have a magic ball in your office.
Just a captain.
Underneath.
Yeah, that's good though. She works so hard, and it's appreciated.
I just wrote Carrie a note when you were telling us that, and my note says, I really hope she doesn't have any plans to retire anytime soon. And so maybe we should put this and put that in your office.
I'll be glad to accept it.
Okay.
There are no
I appreciate that you've stayed with it so diligently, and because
And done a fascinating job.
I think there was a few years ago that it wasn't so appreciated, maybe
Yeah, you've done an excellent job, Jen.
I appreciate that.
by
And
everyone.
it's
And I
important.
think I really, you were appreciated, and I don't think it came across that way.
I appreciate that. Just want you to have the confidence that you are presented accurate information, and that we're very transparent in all that we do, and always working with integrity. And that is a core value of mine personally, always
And
has
that's what
been,
we
always
love.
will be. And I appreciate your confidence. But Dr. Ballinger mentioned, and I have a wonderful team, and they work very hard, and I appreciate them every single day. But thank you very much. I appreciate that. We'll look forward to the auditors coming. They'll be here the week of.
You look forward to them.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, $2,500, why wouldn't you, you know?
That's right. That is our general fund budget numbers. Our other funds are strong, and grant world is changing. We continue to monitor that. I know we shared that. I don't think Mr. Thomas is with us, but
He's
yeah,
behind you.
I was like, "Oh, looking at me." Mr. Thomas has had a couple of budgets that kind of went away for a short period of time. We're thankful that those funds were restored, because it's very valuable to the work that he is doing in instruction.
And I do want to say, while we say all of this is really positive right now, it's because that this entire team focuses and stays on top of it every single day. And when we say we count pennies and we're looking under every rock for every dollar, and we absolutely are, and it's the whole team, and we just work on the basis that we have to be frugal so we're able to provide opportunities for our kids. So it's a team effort, and it's everybody in this room working to try to always find what grant could we find to steal this from, to pay for this and use this. So it's a big giant puzzle, and it takes everybody working together. And oftentimes it means that you have to say no to things, and that's you don't always love to say no, and nobody wants to say no, but sometimes you just have to say no because you know it's not within the budget. And that's part of working within the integrity of the system, of knowing this is what we have and this is what we can do, and not, my pep will always say, you better live within your means. And that goes a long way in a school district. You have to be able to say no at times.
Primarily our dollars that we're carrying forward are our contingency dollars. It's the money that we plan to carry forward. So it's very important that we also spend money on meeting the needs of our students that are in our school system this school year. And I think that all of our departments, everyone, and you as a board, and Dr. Ballinger, we all keep that, in our mind, that we're meeting the needs of our students for this year and spending our funds wisely. And, thank you for your guidance, Dr. Ballinger, for, the input, that she provides, that in leading us to, to find all the things every resource that we can find to support our students. It's that teamwork is so very important.
Thank you, Ms. G. Anyone else for department reports? Ms. Kayla? How are you liking your job?
Yesterday, if you'd asked me that, I would have told you it was a hard day, but today was a much better day. It is stage day, but I love it. I'm so excited to be back in special education and have Miss Casey on board now, and she's such an asset to our district team, and it's been going well. It's a learning curve, but we're just tackling each day as it comes. And
I would like to make a recommendation to you two ladies.
sure.
Okay. You both have been so heavily involved in children's lives in your career. I would encourage you at least once a week to go in the school building, get in a classroom, and hang out with some kids.
I told Miss Casey today, I said, I miss seeing students.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the work that it's gonna be a totally different thing, and you've been so used to hands-on getting that relationship, so I just think that you need to go eat lunch with them, or,
Listen, and kids will miss you all because you all are loved. I mean, I know that firsthand.
We'll
So,
definitely make that a priority. I've had several people tell me that that was something that Mr. Benny, they really appreciated about him, was how much he was in the schools, visiting teachers and students, and just being there to listen. And that's something I want to continue, that I want to be known for. So we will
I would
definitely make that a
encourage all of
priority.
you to do that, actually. Not just you two ladies, all of you. Mr. Bustle, you're gonna miss seeing all them whole hands, running around the hallways.
I
And you got
suggest they get-
Trent
I
and Ken
suggest
to
they
look
get
at.
their CDLs and they can drive the bus. And so about 60 of them at a time.
Perfect.
Plug.
But I do mean that, because it's gonna be different for you all, because you're so used to being intertwined with them. So. Does anyone else have anything for department reports? Ms. Savannah, you're new in your role, but
Yes,
not.
and I just like to say I'm so pleased with the hire recommendations that have been made in the district, getting to meet, especially some of our people that are new to the district. We have a lot of great people going on and coming on as in different roles. And I'd like to say that from certified teachers to some bus drivers. I've told Ken multiple times, I will go talk to him after I have a meeting with somebody and tell him, this person's going to be great. And I have the same conversation with Mr. Bishop about a sub cook today. We've just found some really, really great people that I think are going to be assets to our school district. So I'm really excited for some of our new hires to get in and start working, because I'm really excited about them. On the communication side, we did a rooms training with the ATC staff today. And I think that once all of our staff kind of get over the hump that Senate Bill 181 is something we're being faced with, I really think that they're going to be excited about the platform, because it's going to give them a really great opportunity to showcase what they're doing in their class to their families. And I think it's overall going to be a really, really good tool once everybody gets adapted to it and gets used to it. But we'll do our majority of our rooms training next week at every school.
Since you brought that up, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Are all of our staff, sports teams, are they all utilizing the platforms that we want, or are they, some of them still using other things and having people sign off on it?
The law mandates that they have the option to use the waiver. So when this first came out, and maybe I don't remember who was in that initial coaches meeting with me. Maybe Mr. Bustle was with me, and I said Rockcastle County Schools is not going to use the waiver because it's just far too hard for us to keep up with, and we're going to use rooms only. Well, I quickly had to backtrack that, because the guidance that came out from multiple attorneys was this is state law that mandates a waiver be in place, and a school district cannot prevent a parent from signing a waiver. So the waiver is out there. If coaches, teachers, parents, if they want to utilize the waiver and not use rooms, that is in the law. However, it does have to be, the parent has to fill out the waiver. It can't be, coach can't say everybody on my team is gonna do this. Like in one waiver, the parent would have to. Like for Caravella, you would have to sign off on it. But
Okay.
it is definitely, there are some sports teams that every parent has said we're gonna continue with our traditional form of communication because every parent has signed the waiver.
And we have implemented, so when a waiver comes into us, it's housed at the child's school. We have created a database so that any building principal can log in and see, okay, yeah, this kid did have a sign off to communicate with this, because, you could sign off for Carabella to talk to somebody at an elementary school, a staff member. So we've created a database that there's just an assigned person at each school to enter those waivers, so we have track of them from the district level, but also various people can get on there and see what they need to. So it's kind of been a mix of both, but I'll have to brag, there's a middle school football team that they have taken rooms and they have ran with it, and they have just really they've created. So when we presented it to sports teams specifically, there's a messaging aspect of rooms that, is that traceable communication, but then there's also rooms, which is what I think will be really great for teachers in the classroom. And initially, if you sign in as a parent, it looks like a social media feed, but for your child's class. They can upload flyers into it. They can link it to Google Classroom and put assignment reminders in it. But some sports teams have created those rooms and made that really nice platform for whatever team they're coaching. So some of them have really taken it and ran with it, and I think overall it's going to be really nice for them to have in place.
I did see the girls' middle school basketball team today made a Facebook post saying, check your rooms account. We're not going to communicate such and such on Facebook anymore. If you want this information, you need to go to your rooms account.
So what if
So,
what if you had a group that, I'm gonna use an example. You have a coach who does not want to use rooms, they want to use, I don't know, Remind or something. And you got 2 or 3 children whose parents will not sign the waiver. I'm assuming it will be the coach's responsibility to still communicate all things to those
Absolutely,
children
yes.
through the other platform.
absolutely. Or they're in violation of the law, and then the law then dictates that I have to report them to the standards board if they're a certified person.
And I'm going to plug KSBA. I apologize. There's a really good article in the KSBA newsletter this month. A lot of questions that you might have answers to. They've taken it, and the Attorney General as well has taken it piece by piece by piece. And a lot of questions are answered for me, good or bad. So, yeah, I'd urge you to check that out too.
Yeah, and we will. We put out our first little bit of communication on social media and our app and website yesterday, kind of letting the community and families know that rooms is going to be introduced, but families will start receiving their official parent invites tomorrow, actually. So you all may receive a text message that has a link that will prompt you to go and sign into rooms. If not, we are planning to have individuals at every open house to be of assistance. We have a lot of grandparents raising grandkids in the district, so we're going to have some support in place to make sure that those family members and legal guardians are able to successfully get into this software and have any questions asked. But we'll continue to share out information throughout the week and leading up to school starting.
And there's lots of questions about the use of grandparents, step parents along those lines. Those have now been deemed appropriate if you're an employee of a school system as a step parent. You can still talk to your stepchild.
There is some conflicting reports on that. So what we have said to people that have stepchildren is just go ahead and fill out the waiver to be on the safe side. That way there's never any question. Because there are a few
I guess it's
conflicting.
just the way the Attorney General
Yeah.
is what they
Yeah.
said that definitely. Okay.
And we've been trying to do a really good job as we have started doing these rooms trainings, is we started with going through especially what it means to be a family member definition, because it is kind of tricky. So, I've met with Ken's bus drivers the past 2 training days that they've had, just to make sure everybody's protecting themselves, as this is very new. So as we start those trainings, we start initially with talking about the law, make sure that all of our employees understand what the different definitions, make sure that they know if they may need to sign off on a waiver, just so they can communicate with, a stepchild, or depending on what the relationship may be.
And somebody had motion to halt this law. Did that go through? Have you heard that?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, I know that was on
Mm-hmm.
to not put it in force yet.
Yeah, but no, it is in. That
Okay.
did not go through. Yeah. But I do expect that they will revisit in the January legislative session.
I think that's already been.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Of course.
JD, how are you enjoying your new role? You're awful quiet.
Yeah, it's good. A little less people. No, it's good.
About
It's
600.
For less little people.
I've watched a lot of webinars here this past couple months. A lot of certifications to get and everything. So it's good.
When I was reading your report, what's it called?
Kenny
Kenny?
Bento.
The McKinney-Vento. I was telling Marcus and Carrie, they do a count every year. It's usually around September, October. Every county does it, and it's usually through your community action, which would be your up at that Ashley House or Daniel Boone, just wherever. And the more numbers that you can give, which of course we couldn't give details, but we could give numbers, all of that goes into a database so that on a statewide level, if there is a need that is overwhelming, that is where the money would get funneled through for funding for different things. So that might be a number that you would want to share with them. And I can give you the contact information for that.
Yeah, I
Whenever,
appreciate
and
that.
whenever that count is, because when they do it, it's a statewide effort, and they actually want people in the community, if you know of anybody, to go out and you actually literally do a count. And it's very beneficial in getting funding.
Yeah, that'd be great. I've got a couple of meetings. I have my first meeting that in Frankfurt's not until sometime in September on that I'm required to go to. But there's a couple of they're nationwide, they're federal webinars that I'm signed up to attend. So to find out more about that, but
And I think showing those numbers is so important because there's such a housing crisis across the nation right now that I really believe that there will be funding that will start becoming available to communities. Hopefully that can help meet that crisis need. So, you know,
yeah,
I just want to share that with you.
Yeah, the definition of that, when we've dealt with this as a principal and looking and working with our Family Resource and Youth Service Center and Mr. Reppert, you know, the definition of that is very vague on what determines what homeless is. And a lot of our kids qualify for that, but you know, I don't know. Well, I think a lot of them get I don't know what you labeled. Yeah, misidentified. So, you know, we'll look into it. And
This area is getting more and more populated with homeless. Kentucky is one of the only states that pays for rehab. So a lot of, we're seeing a lot of states court order people to come to Kentucky.
With their families.
Believe it or not, like they're actually court ordered to come to Kentucky for rehab, to take up residence here. Facts.
Jen, you got anything? Trent? I don't want to leave anybody out. Miss Casey, do you have anything? Or Bessie?
Glad to be here. Happy to be a part of things. Hope to help out. And I do plan on being in the school toolbox because that's something I'll definitely miss. So I've already thought that. Thanks for the suggestion.
For sure. Parent-palooza's next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at the schools. If any board members want to come and check that out, we'll have a lot of community resources there. And some churches are going to feed them this year. We weren't going to feed them because we wanted to pay for it. And we've had some churches want to step up and feed the people as they come in. And usually a big event. If you want to come check out the schools and see some families.
When are they back to school for the elementary?
Somebody's got it in here.
Tuesday, Mount Learning for the littles, and Thursday in the afternoon, and then Friday.
Next week's busy.
Friday for Broadhead.
This week's busy.
No, Thursday for Broadhead. Thursday Broadhead, Brownstone, and Mount Learning's 3rd through 5th. Mount Learning's K 1 and 2 is Tuesday.
So we have the middle school on Tuesday and
Grade
Mount
6.
Vernon. And then Wednesday we have middle school.
Middle school, 6th grade is
6th grade is
Tuesday. 7th and 8th is Wednesday. And then Thursday we have the high school and what elementary school?
well, the Mount Vernon 3rd, 4th.
Roundstone. Okay.
Mount Vernon K 1 2 is.
It's on the 19th.
Yeah, did you get that?
I'll send you that.
It's in one of the department reports.
Yeah, oh, I didn't
I
see
know which one it is.
I didn't read yours, Tom. Sorry. I read everybody else's. I didn't read yours, Thomas. I'm so sorry. You should have sat in the back row, you know?
I don't see it.
I didn't see it. I knew when the Parapalooza, because I was planning on being there, but I did not know. it
I think I'm
was
supposed to
elementary.
click on something. That's it. Cause you have the, lunch pad, the thing,
Yeah,
that,
rocket
yeah,
launch. Yeah.
all in there too. And I'm sorry,
No,
on that one, it's
go
my
ahead.
turn. I'm just impressed at all the sessions. I mean, it's very professionally organized. You all have a lot of variety. I mean, it's like, I wanna come to learn things I don't need to know. It looks just so inviting. So that's awesome for everybody who's doing that. I mean, there's some wonderful people doing some presentations here, elsewhere. So that's awesome. So I just wanted to say that. Yeah, if I could, I would. And the Leader in Me training is
Yes.
starting.
Yes, that is the 14th. So, new staff meet and greet is tomorrow evening, 3:30 to 4:30.
Okay.
If anybody's able to, if you all are able to swing by, yes. We are going to do something a little bit different this year. We revised our strategic plan, which you all approved earlier. And then from that strategic plan, we created a one-page document that is a pledge that we're going to ask our new employees to sign, and we're going to do a signing day for them on behind the backdrop. So we'll have, if it's a high school teacher, we'll have Miss Brandy, myself, and the employee signing the pledge to be committed to the Rockcastle County School Strategic Plan. And so we're going to do something a little bit different. So if you all are able to come join us, we'd love to have you. Yeah, 3:30 to 4:30. Yeah, 3:30 to 4:30. And then the Leader in Me training is August 14th. And I do want to give a shout out. We have local churches that are providing lunch to all of our staff. So different churches have adopted different schools. And so I do want to appreciate and say thank you to all of those churches that have been willing to step up and feed our staff on that day. And then Rocket Launch will be August 22nd. So we typically in years past, we have done it the first day that everybody comes back. We changed that this year because our staff is going to be receiving Leader in Me training. And then when we have our Rocket Launch, our guest speaker is Miss Muriel Summers, and she is the principal of the very first ever Leader in Me school in North Carolina.
Awesome.
And she is really, really, really impressive. If you all are able to come and listen to her, it's the 22nd. She will start right at 8 o'clock. She'll speak from 8 till 9, but she is going to be, I'm really, really excited about her. She is going to be great. Mr. Reppert and I had a Zoom call with her, and she's just really, really remarkable.
Leader in Me is her.
I mean-
She took the 7 habits of Covey and came up, hey, this would be good for education. So she
just
literally,
designed it herself.
it's her. Yeah.
I saw that and I thought, oh, I can't think of the rural impact guy.
Amen.
Yes,
Yeah.
that he's gonna
Yeah.
be just,
Yeah. So if you all are able to come, I think you'll get a blessing just from listening to her story and to the work she's done in education. And she's very, very motivational and encouraging. So invite you all to come to any of that you're able to. We'd love to have it with us. And I know we've already talked about Miss Casey and Kayla and Savannah and Mr. Bussell, but I had also on my notes just to welcome them to the board meeting and appreciate the work that they're doing. And everybody's learning their new roles, and it's always a learning curve, but they're awesome and doing a fabulous job. And I'm appreciative of them.
Well, we haven't got down to you yet.
I
Carrie.
just
Do you
jumped
want to repeat
ahead.
that?
I jumped ahead.
I jumped ahead too, sorry.
The agenda, sorry.
We're skipping over your part.
Miss Angie, do you have anything?
I don't have anything else, just, gosh, there's a lot going on. It makes me so excited. I know it's a lot, but there's just so many opportunities for kids here. I mean, it's amazing. So I just like to just thank you all. It's just awesome. Just great.
Sam?
You know.
The only thing I would have to say is, with my job, I get the pleasure of going into a lot of counties. I've been going into a lot of schools lately, and I just want to say that we may have the cleanest schools in the state of Kentucky that I have been in. I mean, I went in a school the other day, a newer building, and I was just in awe at how great our schools look. So Trent, the people who work and devote their time and dedication into take pride in their jobs. Wow. I mean, because I mean, it really is. you can see, I mean, there's no comparison. There's really no comparison. And I just wanted to share that because that was something that was brought to my attention the other day. The other thing I wanted to share is that we really might have the very best superintendent in the state of Kentucky also. No, and I appreciate your leadership, Carrie. I appreciate your team. I think one of the reasons that everyone in this room works so well together is because their voice is heard. I'm not so sure that that's always been the case in school districts. And so thank you for all that you do. Thank you to everyone in this room for everything that you do. I'm excited to see your kids back in the school building because I know that when they are there, they're getting fed and they're safe, and that's where they need to be. So,
And they feel like somebody.
huh?
And they feel like somebody.
Yeah, they feel loved. So, yeah, I'll be glad when school starts.
I do want to say one thing before you close. Yesterday, we had our neighbors in Garrett County. There was a bus accident and one of the bus drivers was killed. And I'd just like to ask us all to keep that school district in our prayers. They start school tomorrow. They did do a transition day to day and they went ahead and moved forward with that. But you know that that's got to be weighing heavily on their hearts to know that they've lost one of their own bus drivers who was a veteran bus driver in the district. So let's just remember them in our prayers and just that whole staff.
Why don't we, when we adjourn this meeting, why don't we end in prayer for them? Okay? Need a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
Father God, we come to you tonight. We thank you so much for many blessings that you give us each day. And Father, we thank you for our school district. We thank you for the individuals in this room, Lord, that spend so much of their time just loving kids and trying to do what's best for them. Father, we reach out and we approach your throne room to lift up Gary County schools right now to you, Lord. Be with the families of the individual that got killed, Lord. And I just pray, God, that you will send comfort to them and strength during this time. And God, I pray that you will be with all of the staff, with all of the students, Lord, that this individual has touched. And I just pray, God, that you will give them peace that only comes from you. And we praise you and we thank you for it all. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.